Hi, I'm Chris Smith, the Director of Solution Engineering here at Verity IT. I've been helping Chicago businesses like yours with their IT challenges for over 20 years, and this is the first time I've seen such a drastic change in the workplace in regards to working remotely. By now, you should have received your remote security checklist after you signed up for the webinar. If you've not received it, please reach out after the webinar and we'll provide you with one. This checklist is a great tool to refer back to in order to be sure that you're following the safety guidelines to continue working from home worry-free. Many people think that working from home is as easy as connecting your laptop to your at-home Wi-Fi and then simply logging into your machine. Wrong. In fact, this could be setting you up and your business up for a major disaster. Today, we're here to give you some tips on how you can stay safe and still be productive while working remotely. In this webinar, we're going to discuss system access, the importance of separating work and personal devices, secure connections, and some other cybersecurity best practices. First up, system access. Let's say your office network was so protected that very little thought was given to restricting access to servers with sensitive data. Or perhaps you now have to work on your own personal laptop, one that you didn't think much about securing before coronavirus upended your life. Either way, it's time to start thinking about the ways to guard against unauthorized access. If you think cyber criminals and regular criminals will be sensitive to global events and refrain from attacking remote workers, well, sadly, you'd be mistaken. First things first, access to your computers should at least be password protected, and that password should be a strong one. If the system is stolen, this will keep the thief from easily accessing company information. Number two, if Office network permissions previously gave you easy access to work software, now you may be required to enter a variety of passwords to gain access. If your workplace doesn't already offer a single sign-on service, consider using a password manager. It will be much more secure than a written list of passwords left on your desk or saved in an Excel spreadsheet. Thirdly, encryption. It also helps protect information on stolen or compromised computers. Check whether data encryption is active on your work machine. If you're not sure, ask your IT department whether you have it and if they think it's necessary. And finally, if you're connecting your work computer to your home network, make sure you don't make it visible to other computers in the network. If you have to add it to the home group, then make sure the option to share files is turned off. Now that we've covered a bit about system access, let's discuss the topic of separating work and personal devices. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. Unfortunately, this one is so much easier said than done. Still, just as it's important to carve out boundaries between work life and home life while working from home, the same is true of devices. Do you have a child being homeschooled now and turning in digital assignments? Are you ordering groceries and food online to avoid stores? It's best not to cross these things with work. While it may seem crazy to constantly switch back and forth between the two, do your best to at least keep your main work computer and your main home computer separate, if you have more than one such device. If you can do the same for your mobile devices, that's even better. The more programs and software you install, the more potential vulnerabilities you introduce. Don't pay your home bills on the same computer you compile your work spreadsheets. You can not only create confusion for yourself, but also end up compromising your personal information if a cyber criminal was looking to breach your company. Don't send work-related emails from your private email address and vice versa. Not only does it look unprofessional, but you're weaving a web that might be hard to untangle once the normal office routine resumes. Speaking of homeschooling, it's especially important to keep your child's digital curriculum separate from your work device. Both are huge targets for cyber criminals. Imagine their delight when they find that they can not only plunder an organization's network through an unsecured remote worker, but they can also collect highly valuable personally identifiable information on young students. This garners a big payday on the dark web. Lastly, you want to make sure you have access to your organization's cloud infrastructure and can tunnel in through a VPN with encryption. Secure your home Wi-Fi with a strong password in case a VPN isn't an option or if it fails for some reason. Also, access to the settings on your home router should be password protected as well. Be sure to change the default password it came with. No using 12345. Some other work from home security precautions may not be all that different from those you should be practicing in the office, but they're easy to forget when you're working in your home environment. Let's touch on a few of the most important. One, be wary of phishing emails. As we discussed in detail in our webinar earlier this week, there will be many going around trying to capitalize on fear related to coronavirus, questions about isolations and its psychological impacts, or even pretending to offer advice or health information. Scan those emails with a sharp eye and do not open attachments unless they're from a known trusted source. Not every organization was prepared for this scenario, so it's only natural that some may not have the level of remote security in place that others do. Make sure to get yourself up to speed with the guidelines that your organization has in place for remote work. Ask for directions if anything is unclear. Not everyone has the same level of tech savvy, so remember, the only stupid question is the one that isn't asked. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we hope that some of these security tricks help you. We'll be reaching out to everyone who's on the call today because we'd like to offer all of our listeners a network and security scan at a discounted rate. This is a $250 value to be sure your company is safe and protected during these unprecedented times. Please look for an email from us in the next few days, and we'll schedule your scan. Okay, we have a little bit of time left, and a few good questions have come in, and I want to try and quickly answer. So the first one is, how do I know if my connection is encrypted? One of the things that you can look at is if your Wi-Fi asks anyone connecting to it for a password, the connection is encrypted. However, you have several Wi-Fi encryption standards to choose from. The best one for you to use in a home situation is WPA2. You can use the router settings to select or change to that type of encryption. And remember that your Wi-Fi password should be strong. Second, what are some other options if my business doesn't offer a VPN? Well, you can always password protect your home Wi-Fi connection. It's important to find a way to protect your PC and encrypt your traffic. One good option is to use a personal hotspot from a dedicated device or from your phone. Although your web traffic will be unencrypted between the hotspot and its destination, using a hotspot does eliminate some of the problem of getting hacked by people on the same public Wi-Fi or on Wi-Fi in general. With most major carriers, you can pay a nominal fee for the capability to set up a private Wi-Fi network with your cell phone. Here's another one. Can I just use my personal laptop for work? Well, this is a hard question to answer. The best case scenario would be to keep your work and personal machines separate. You can not only create confusion for yourself, but you can also end up compromising your personal information if a cyber criminal was looking to breach your company. However, if you must use your personal laptop for work, be sure to change passwords pretty consistently on all of your banking, corporate, and leisure websites. Well, that's about all the time that we have for today. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in and stay safe out there.